For over a century, the cinema has been a temple of storytelling. We sat in the dark, surrounded by strangers, and let the glow of the big screen transport us to other worlds. But today, the way people watch movies is changing faster than ever. A new poll from AP Norc shows that in the United States, streaming has officially overtaken theaters as the dominant way people watch films. Fewer and fewer choose to leave home for the cinema, while more settle into their living rooms, clicking play on streaming platforms. But this shift isn't just American. It's global. From Asia to Africa, Europe to Latin America, the screen in our pocket is quickly replacing the screen in the theater. And this transformation isn't only about technology. It tells us something deeper about human behavior, society, and values. Let's dive into the data, explore why this change is happening, and reflect on timeless wisdom from the Quran about balance, purpose, and the stories we choose to fill our lives with. In the United States, box office sales peaked in 2002, with about $11.9 billion in ticket revenue. But by 2023, even before inflation adjustment, revenues had dropped and attendance was down nearly 25%. Meanwhile, streaming platforms like Netflix, Disney Plus, and Amazon Prime grew to hundreds of millions of subscribers worldwide. Globally, the trend is even more striking. In China, now the largest cinema market by total revenue, streaming platforms like iQIYI and Tencent Video already reach over 500 million users combined. In India, the rise of platforms such as Hotstar, Z5, and JioCinema reflects a similar revolution. By 2024, India had more than 100 million paid streaming subscriptions, reshaping the country's entertainment industry. Europe tells the same story. In the United Kingdom, 77% of households now subscribe to at least one streaming service, while cinema attendance fell by 30% compared to pre-pandemic levels. France, Germany, and Spain see similar numbers. In Africa, platforms like Showmax in South Africa and Netflix's growing presence in Nigeria are transforming access to film. Streaming makes entertainment available even in places where traditional theaters are scarce. The Middle East, too, is joining the wave. In Saudi Arabia, where cinemas were banned until 2018, streaming platforms had already established a strong presence. Today, even with theaters returning, streaming dominates because of its accessibility. So why is streaming winning? Convenience is one answer. People can watch anytime, anywhere, on any device. Cost is another. A single subscription can cost less than 2 cinema tickets. And then there's choice. Streaming libraries contain thousands of films, shows, and documentaries at your fingertips. But this transformation raises a bigger question. When our entertainment becomes so personalized, so on demand, do we lose something essential? The shared experience, the community of cinema, the magic of watching stories unfold together. The Quran often reminds us about balance. In Surah Al-A'raf, chapter 7, verse 31, it says, "O children of Adam, take your adornment at every masjid, and eat and drink, but be not excessive. Indeed, he likes not those who commit excess." While this verse speaks about moderation in eating and dressing, its wisdom applies to all aspects of life, including how we consume stories. Excess in entertainment, whether endless streaming or constant cinema visits, can distract us from purpose. The call is always to balance. Psychologists confirm this. Studies show that binge-watching can trigger dopamine cycles similar to addictive behaviors, leading to sleep loss, reduced productivity, and even loneliness. On the other hand, cinema offers collective joy, but it too can become escapism if overindulged. The balance lies in choosing stories that inspire, uplift, and educate. In Surah Luqman, chapter 31, verse 6, it says, "And among the people is he who buys idle talk to mislead others from the way of Allah without knowledge and takes it in ridicule. Those will have a humiliating punishment." Scholars explain that idle talk includes any form of distraction that diverts from truth and meaning. Today, this reminds us to think critically about what kind of content we consume. Is it building us, or is it pulling us away from higher purpose? Globally, the numbers are staggering. Netflix alone has over 270 million subscribers as of 2025. Disney Plus passed 150 million subscribers worldwide, while Amazon Prime Video counts well over 200 million users. Together, streaming platforms reach more than 1 billion people, far beyond the reach of cinemas. Meanwhile, the global box office, once seen as the heart of entertainment, reached around $33 billion in 2019 before the pandemic. By 2024, it had not fully recovered. Streaming, in contrast, generated over $120 billion globally in the same year. The balance has shifted decisively. But perhaps the bigger issue is not where we watch, but what we watch. Stories are powerful. They shape how we think, how we feel, and how we see the world. The Quran itself is full of stories, of prophets, nations, and lessons for humanity. In Surah Yusuf, chapter 12, verse 111, it says, "There was certainly in their stories a lesson for those of understanding. Never was the Quran a narration invented, but a confirmation of what was before it and a detailed explanation of all things and guidance and mercy for a people who believe." This verse reminds us that stories are never just stories. They carry lessons, wisdom, and warnings. So, as streaming overtakes theaters, the real question is, what lessons are we filling our minds with? Are they stories of resilience, justice, and hope, or endless distractions, violence, and meaningless noise? Technology will continue to evolve. Theaters may never fully disappear. Humans still crave shared experiences. But streaming will remain dominant, reshaping how stories reach us. The Quran's timeless guidance is clear. Moderation, mindfulness, and purpose must guide us. In the end, whether we sit in a cinema or on a couch, the screen is just a tool. What matters is the message. Because stories, when chosen wisely, can become a mirror of truth, a source of strength, and a path to wisdom. As Surah Ar-Ra'd, chapter 13, verse 11, reminds us, "Indeed, Allah will not change the condition of a people until they change what is in themselves." The future of storytelling, like every aspect of society, depends on the choices we make. So, next time you press play, ask yourself, what story am I inviting into my heart? Because the stories we choose, in the theater or on the stream, are the stories that shape who we become.